The Paratus Intervention, Chapter 7. Larry, Ann, Vance began. Thanks for the pickup. And the takeout, Ann said, lifting a pair of food containers with a smile and nudging Larry to do the same. Larry lifted his pair of containers as well, with less enthusiasm and a go-along smile that was funny in its own right. Vance took one of the boxes and sniffed the contents. Chili? Chili fries, Larry amended. Ann's got burgers and pie. Real apples. Ann, Vance spoke with a soft, phony charm. I knew we'd be friends someday. Yeah. Bit cold for a evening picnic, though, right? There's a hotel just across the street there, Larry explained. I got us a room, base of operations, away from work, till we can get this thing sorted. Police not too hard on you? Nah, Vance waved off the comment as they ambled down the sidewalk. I didn't do anything. No one was saying that I did. And it's not like I was lying. I just kept a few omissions consistently to myself. I was checking on a coworker. Totally true. Eventually, they decided that was good enough for them. For now. Still, I'm not supposed to leave town without checking in or whatever. An hour later, dinner was digesting, and the heater was humming. The digital clipboards were being passed between the three of them for additional examination. There is nothing in Darren Chang's security or psych profiles to suggest this was his sort of thing. Side work for a competitor? Sure. Hell, I'd wager all your intervention technicians have a mercenary attitude. Something in the way y'all see the world, the way you filter your options, translates into the actual work, Vance mused, continuing. Renting snatch, though? Killing a bitch? Eating people or inviting someone else to or whatever else went on there? No. Someone did all that. I'm just not seeing Darren willingly involved. It's his best kept secret, and I've grossly underestimated his capacity for keeping secrets. Or someone else did it and wanted the police to think it was Darren. I'm with you, Larry agreed. Think about what Gauda said. About how Darren just had to show off his side work. Not really a secret keeper, safe to say. Why all this then? What could possibly be accomplished by convincing anyone that Darren Chang is a whore-killing cannibal? There are 1,000 reasons to frame someone for murder, Vance shrugged. So kill one of his friends. We don't know that she wasn't, Ann interjected. No, Vance insisted. I refuse to believe anyone would dress up like that for Darren Chang on her own volition without sizable financial compensation. We don't know it was for him, Ann continued. She could be a house guest. Might have had someone else. Someone that she was appropriately fond of for whatever. Okay, Vance nodded along. In any case, there are an infinite number of unknowns and a finite number of knowns, facts. All those things are possible, as you say, but they aren't the most likely. Talking yourself out of possibilities and away from lines of reason just because of improbable scenarios gets you nowhere in solving a mystery. You kind of got to treat all unknowns as though they were known and completely predictable until some fact that you do know for certain necessitates otherwise. So, for now, she's a prostitute. Show me an airline stub or a lady's set of luggage, and maybe she's not. This isn't a good way to treat people in life, but you kind of got to forget it's people. More like sorting colors to corners in a jigsaw puzzle. Things just probably go a certain way, and you get further faster accepting that. Ann frowned. Fair enough. A dead hooker is a bit on the nose for a frame-up, Larry refocused the conversation. But then cannibalism seems too bizarre in contrast. Without someone who knows about Marco and the fact that he is missing, basically anyone not us, looking at this murder, cannibalism makes no sense. So why? Vance thought about that, offering. Makes it more like a clue, really. A breadcrumb, Ann blurted, then covered her mouth, muffling, Sorry, not funny. Vance tilted his soda can to her in a mock salute. I'm laughing. So they're framing Darren for murder, Larry speculated aloud. but left evidence that suggests Marco, but only for anyone bothering to consider one in light of the other, which would only be me, right? Do you think it may have actually been Marco? Anne asked. He is missing, Larry admitted. If a wave of cannibal attacks were sweeping the city, he would be my first guess. This is different. Marco had no reason to be mixed up with Darren. Unless, Vance considered, unless someone else pointed him in his direction. Like sending Marco after Darren? Or putting the two together anyway. Maybe, Larry wondered aloud. I've been working with Marco a long time, and I can't say I've had no success. But nothing permanent. It is possible that Dr. Townsend or someone else needed an intervention technician to assess my previous work. Maybe took Darren working with me as an unintended vote of confidence in him. We do know he was doing side work too. Speculative, Vance groaned. But unintended or not, Darren has become highly familiar with your work, and you with his. He might not be as good as he thinks he is, but he is as good as he is. And when it comes to understanding, reverse engineering, or building off of your technique, he likely is the best choice. Or at least the best one willing to take side work. I told you not to hire those clowns, Anne admonished, sitting up with finger pointed, sterner than she meant it. But you just had to prove something to yourself, the price of magnanimity. Shit, Anne, this ain't Larry's fault. It kinda is, Larry admitted. I'm not trying to say I told you so, Anne admitted. They're responsible for their own actions. But their past actions predicated the... Vance cut her off. Darren and Galda are jerks, but they are solid technicians, and were due consideration in accordance with group policy. Yeah, Larry had something to prove to himself by bringing them on, but I did the risk assessment. I stamped them off as non-threats to the security of the project. And as far as we can tell, Larry added, the project hasn't been compromised. Or if it has, Vance furthered the speculation, not by Darren. What if we're looking at this all the wrong way? What if Darren was trying to protect the project? It leaked, assume it leaked, however it leaked, senior leadership, someone else involved, whoever. Someone outside got their hands on our project and intervention data. They approached Darren. He doesn't know that they know about the project or his involvement. He's just keen for the score. Then, either they tell him why they recruited him, or he starts noticing data that couldn't have come from anywhere else but our project. Maybe he confronted someone. Maybe he was holding back and it looked suspicious. Maybe he was even trying to get more substantial evidence. He wouldn't do it for you or our project, but exposing something like that would be aces for his career within the group. So whatever he did or didn't do, Anne continued, picking up the idea, for whatever reason, and those motives do seem to fit, but his patron didn't take kindly to it and disappears him, framing him for murder. Why not just kill him? Why the frame-up? And why the cannibal? They don't kill him, Larry answered, because they still need him. They frame him for a crime, totally off base for him and his work, so the official search for him gets let off on a wild goose chase. Why the cannibal? Why the cannibal? Assuming we are anywhere remotely near the truth out here on this limb, that still doesn't make sense. Maybe it does, Vance disagreed. We're thinking this has something to do with your intervention work, either with Marco or the project or both. That's why it's Darren and not some random intervention technician from some other company, and we don't know anything about it. We've been dancing around the truth. We even as much as said it earlier. The cannibalism is a calling card. Someone is trying to draw you out, in the opposite direction of the police. And here we are playing right into it. Right? I mean, assume we do get a handle on who is behind all this, right here and now. Imagine that we puzzle it out. You plan on walking back down to the police station, Larry? You want to embroil yourself, us, the project, the group, in a corporate espionage case, tangent to homicide? Or are you and your old pal Vance going to take care of it your own way and keep it out of the headlines? So it's a trap? Anne asked. A damn good one, Larry admitted.